Welcome to Bur Rank Yard. Located in the December region in the northeast region of the railroad, this 4-mile-long rail yard is an artery to 5 important lines on the Quinten Northern with connections to a variety of industries, customers, and consumers. Today, we'll be taking a tour of Bur Rank Yard and the surrounding region and all the events that could happen. Bur Rank Yard has two trains, R900 and R901. This is R901, the hump yard power. The two first-generation General Motor engines have been overhauled to have a little extra horsepower and are built with an RCL system, so the crew can control the engines from the hump. The cars that R901 is hooking up to right now are cars from train M285, a manifest starting in Cartic Yard in the Cordera Valley Division, coming up all the way to Bur Rank Yard. Once the engines are tied on and the air is dumped from the brake line, the engines can start to shove up the hump. Adjacent to the receiving yard is the maintenance of way yard, where maintenance of way equipment is stored, such as Jordan spreaders, ballast cars, gondolas with ties, a rail laying train, and breakdown cranes. With the train in place, the hump crew can start working. But because running two trains at once in trains is not the best idea, we're going to leave this train here and move on to the other yard job, R900. The power for R900 usually consists of whatever is available for use, and today, it's an SD40-2 and a C44-9W. At the moment, it carries the symbol R900, but is going to switch over to R809 in a few moments. R809 is a switching local for the Bringhamburgh secondary, working between Bur Rank and ZU. Before the R900 can relay into R809, the crew must wait for a train to come in off the Cartic line to do some quick drilling.
Permission to make that reverse move on you.
This is R110, a local coming from Diamond Yard on the Cartic line to Bur Rank. R110 runs in conjunction of its counterpart R111, which runs every day after R110. When R110 does run, it comes in with the loaded coal hoppers from the Patatar mine, rock hoppers from the Surgeon quarry, and logs from the Payton logging camp, and a variety of other cars loaded with general commodities from nearby businesses. The boxcars in the middle of the train are loaded with commodities from local businesses up in the region that ship their products down south, while the cars in the back are empty or used to be full of commodities for the region up in the mountains. The helpers at the back are under the symbol of E974. Almost every train going up or down the hill are in need of helpers because of how steep the grades are on the Cartic line. R110 pulls up next to the local yard to drop off its bottom half of the train so that R900 can switch it out and R110 can work the coal yard at the other end of the yard. Once the train stops, the helpers are broken off and go back up the mountain to Diamond Yard to assist another train down the hill. Once R110 breaks off from the manifest cut, they move on to the coal yard. The other trains that I have staged in the departure yard are U691, I332, and U637. U691 is an auto parts train that doesn't run on the December region, but I decided to place it here. I-332 is an intermodal and/or auto rack train from Areilia Intermodal Terminal to Port Paestwind, which is usually an extra for train I-101. U637 is a loaded trash train that comes from Areilia Yard and is brought to Bur Rank to be put onto the E-Line local R144 to be transferred with the Port Paestwind Railroad. Now it's time for R900 to get to work. Once the engines are hooked up, they'll drill the cartridge into the yard to be switched out later so R900 can be relayed to R809. Now with the cartridge drilled, it's time to relay to R809. The industry the crew was going to serve today is on the main line, but there is no nearby siding. So instead of running with both engines in the lead, the crew will unhook the Dash 9 to the lash up so the engines are at each end of the train so it's easy to turn the consist around.
This is your downfall. This is your downfall. And you're gonna stagger. You're gonna crawl. 'Cause this is your downfall.
Now with the consist properly built, they can make their way to the first industry, gate key distribution. However, before entering the Bringhamburgh secondary, the crew must get track authority from the Quinten dispatcher and wait for a freight train to clear the line. This is U345, a loaded tank train coming from the port of Admiral P.J. Lance on the Native Division to Daroc. Most of the cars will be transferred to Norfolk Southern, while the rest will be distributed along the railroad. Now with U345 clear of the main, R809 will have plenty of time to switch out gate key while the next train through isn't due for the next few hours. This is Testa. Located at milepost 226.0 on the Bringhamburgh Secondary, this is where one of GateKey Distribution's warehouses is located. GateKey works with many small and large companies to help ship their products via the Quinten Northern and one of their many warehouses just like this one. Once the train is in place, the engineer moves back to the dash 9 so the train's heading is flipped and they can start switching. GateKey has a system when it comes to switching the cars out. The cars inside the warehouse are taken out and put onto the consist, the cars sitting outside the warehouse are moved inside, and the cars brought down by R809 are put outside. Now with the switching complete, it's time to move back to Bur Rank Yard. Before R809 can relay back to R900, there's still one more assignment the crew has to complete, and there's one more train they have to wait on. This is R092, the daily switcher for the Feather Line. Every day it'll spend anywhere from an hour to 12 hours working between here and Areilia, the endpoint of the line. R092 doesn't usually build its own trains, as that's R900's job. All R092 has to do is pick up its cars at the local yard, run its course along the Feather Line, then turn back around and drop its train off and let R900 do the rest. R809 must clear the way for the R092 so that R092 can put its cars in the local yard and then get out of the way for R809 to finish its assignment. Meets between the two trains in the yard is very common, especially between R900 and R092. R900 essentially works every day 24/7, day or night shifts, while R902 only works once a day, but they run at any time, whether it's early in the morning or late at night. After the crews have had a quick talk with each other to figure out how they will work this movement, R092 was given a track to put its cars on so that it stay out of the way of R809 when they have to pick up more cars sitting in the yard. After R92 drops off its cars, the locomotive is sent over to the fuel pad and the engine facility, and R809 can continue its work. Now, R809 can move on to its next assignment, which is switching out the reefer industry just across the Quinten interlocking. For this assignment, the Dash 9 is not necessary, it can be left in the yard. All R809 has to do is drop off its boxcars, pick up the reefers on the next track, and move across the interlocking. With the reefers collected, R809 moves ahead.
This thing is yours, not mine. 2020, I can see the future. You're looking at me with your jealous eyes. Remember everything you forgot you were. Sometimes you just gotta run with your love. Sometimes you just gotta stop.
This is the garage industrial siding, where a reefer and a grain industry are served through the Quinten Northern. All R809 has to do today is drop off the reefers it has now and pick up new reefers waiting on one of the side tracks. These cars were already switched out by a track mobile that's stored by the grain industry.
Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Are you running with me? Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Are you running with me? Raise 'em up, raise 'em up.
Now it's time to make the shove back to the local yard.
Are you running with me? Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Are you running with me? Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Are you running with me? Are you ready for it? Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Are you ready for it? Look at the end. Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Raise 'em up, raise 'em up. Are you ready for it? Look at the end.
After dropping off the reefers, the R809 will hook up back to the Dash 9 and will relay back into R900 to complete some more yard jobs. And that's it. That's just a sneak peek at some of the actions that go around here in Bur Rank Yard and the surrounding areas. Thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to see how far I get into the rest of this project. I am so excited to show you what else I have working on and in the works. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for all the other awesome videos I have in the works. And other than that, my name is Captain Echo, and I will see you all on the battlefield. Echo out.